Okay, welcome to this week's show. We're going to wait another minute before we get started in case anybody else is jumping on at the last second to tune in for this awesome episode.
Awesome.
So awesome. Kelsey has what we call the giggles.
Mike just hit his knee really hard under the table.
That's true.
But we're all really serious about our jobs
Yep.
and what we do.
That's true. All right.
So this week in social media has been kind of crazy. Past couple of weeks, I guess, but lots of new things changing. Lots of social media marketing companies really having to jump in, dive first, and figure out what to do and how to best use some of these new tools coming out with Facebook and some of the other things.
Yep, so to get started, my name is Rob Wormley.
I'm Mike Ball.
And I'm still Kelsey Jones.
And we're project managers for a company called One Social Media, as we are every week. But we come to you for these shows to talk about social media news, like Kelsey says. We're staying on top of all the trends and the changes that are happening. And so this show is going to be huge because if you've been watching our social media at all the last few days, we've been talking a lot about Facebook timeline for business pages. And so we wanted to dedicate an entire live show, and we wanted to all collect our experience and knowledge and share it with you. So we want to thank you for taking the time to join us today, and we have some good topics to cover. So we're going to get right into it, I think.
Let's dive in.
Okay, so there are a lot of places you can go to learn about Facebook Timeline. Just Google it, how to use Facebook Timeline for business. But what we want to offer you is something a little bit different. And so what this show is going to focus around is the first 5 strategies that you should be thinking about or implementing when setting up or publishing your timeline for your Facebook business page.
Right. And just to be clear, Facebook timelines have been out for profiles for a little while now, but they're just rolling out with business pages, going to go live with everyone turning over to business page timeline on March 30th. So if you haven't switched your timeline over to, or your business page over to timeline yet, that's okay. We just want to give you some of the tools and strategies to do it successfully.
You can actually use this buffer period leading up to the 30th to make sure that you have your strategy set up ahead of time and you have it looking the way you want, which is really nice.
Yes.
So let's start with number 1.
Number 1.
Timeline has a giant photo on the top, which is called your cover photo. And before you get too excited about that, there are certain rules about what you can use that for.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about this cover photo who haven't really read into the Facebook guidelines, who say it's a great area for promotion. Unfortunately, Facebook explicitly states that that's an area they don't want you to use for promotion. In fact, you aren't allowed to use it for promotion. So the cover photo should be something that represents your brand, something that gives your page some brand identity. But the thing that you have to remember is you can't include business information. So you can't have your website link, you can't have your phone number, you can't have product information, price information, you can't have a big message that says, please like our page, please share our page with your friends. You can't do anything like that. So it's a non-promotional space on your page.
For the eyes only. No purchasing will come of your cover photo. It's to be visually pleasing to the people that are going to your page. And that's probably the least you can do for your fans.
Right, and we're going to kind of go through, we have 5 of these, so we're going to go kind of quick, and then hopefully we're going to spend some more time on some individual strategies in the future through white papers and blog posts and different stuff like that. But sure. I just wanted to say, a lot of people have been asking me, what do you think? Should the cover photo stay the same over time? Should you change it up regularly? And I don't know what you guys think, but my opinion was that I think it should change occasionally over time. It should still create a good representation of your brand, but it doesn't mean you can't have fun with it. You can take a page out of Google's book and celebrate a holiday or some sort of milestone and just have a little fun with the cover photo. Since you're not using it for promotion, you might as well be creative with it and let people know that you're keeping your Facebook page fresh and interesting.
Right. Your cover photo is not what people are going to see in their not their timeline, their news feed. They're going to see your profile picture, which is now a little square, more like it is on Twitter, where it's kind of an icon. That's something that you can keep consistent throughout time. I mean, you can change it whenever you want, but as a company, it could be the basics of your logo so people can identify you quickly. Your cover photo is where you can have a little bit more fun and change like that. And we've already seen people talking about that and come up with several different ideas to do it.
Right. Like we said, you want to be able to make sure people can identify your brand very easily through your cover photo. But maybe you have a business that has seasonal products or different things like that you can just have fun in. If you have the design capacity to do it, or of outsourcing ways to get the design capacity, you can make it really creative and fun and really impress your community that you're building on Facebook.
If you don't have a designer at your disposal, not disposable, I always say that. Just use your phone. Rob takes great photos all the time with his. Just put a photo that's interesting or unique or means something to your company or your brand up there on there so people can kind of connect with you on that level, because that's the first thing they're going to see is that big photo. It doesn't have to be fancy. It can be, but just make it personal.
Okay, these are in no particular order, and we talked about some of these in an earlier video last week that we published that we've been sharing on our Facebook page and on our Twitter account. So the second thing that we want to talk about is you now have the ability to pin a post at the top of your page for a maximum of 7 days. And so it can be anything that you share on your page, whether it's a link or a photo or an album or an event, anything like that. And so we just wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about the strategy that you can use behind pinning that type of content, because if you have the ability to feature a specific piece of content on your page, you should probably have a strategy for what people are going to see when they come to your page during a specific week. So my idea is this is kind of where you can use the more promotional part of your page. So if you have a product special, pin your product special, make an image, make a quick video and pin it for the week, because it's the next thing that people see once they scroll past your cover photo. So this is like prime promo area for your Facebook page.
Absolutely, and I would say as well, if you have an event going on and you want to make sure that people are aware of this event a week ahead of time, or they need to RSVP, just go ahead and pin that to the top of your page, and that will be one of the first things that they see and will most likely click on when they see how important it is.
The other thing you can think about is if you want to run any kind of, maybe not a contest, but just kind of more of a theme for the week, whether it's a photo or a quote or something like that you really want to be remembered to kind of lay out the mood, you can pin that to the top of your page for the week so people can kind of see that, and then if you refer back to it throughout your post in the week, they can know that that's there, and they can always refer back to that right away.
All right, Kelsey, what's number 3?
Well, did we want to talk about the difference between pinning something and highlighting
that's
something?
True.
There's a difference here.
Yeah, there's two kind of vocab words now with timeline. One of them is pinning, one of them is featuring. And so you'll notice if you have the new timeline, or if you have it for yourself and you haven't published it for your page yet, is there's a little star, I believe it is, in the corner of all of your pieces of content on your wall now. And so if you were to share a photo on your timeline, you'll notice it shows up either on the left or the right, depending on how new it is, because there's 2 columns, just like a timeline. But if you click that star button, it's going to fill up the whole page. The whole width of the screen. So it'll go across the timeline, and it's just a way to feature something that you really want people to focus their attention on. So, for example, if you go to One Social Media's Facebook page, you'll notice that I featured Mike and I's video from this morning. We shot a quick video inviting people to watch our show today, and so I decided to feature it, so it was nice and big. So when people come to our page, they see the cover photo and they scroll down, the first thing that they saw was this huge video saying, please watch our show today. We're talking about Facebook timelines. So
yeah, that's really good, because when people are in a hurry and they want to sort through all your content, they'll know which is more important because it's going to be bigger and pop out a little bit more. It looks really nice when you do a photo album or if you're putting up anything visual. It looks a little weird if you just do a text post.
Now, pinning is a little bit harder to find right now in timeline. It's not as in front of you as featuring is. I think what you have to do is you have to click options, and then you look down. If you click options, a drop-down menu will show up, and then it'll say pin this post or pin post. So it's a little harder to find. So just know the difference between a featured post and a pinned post.
And we'll probably have some more information and better steps coming out soon from our team that you'll be able to find on our blog. And other areas, our Facebook page and stuff. But moving along, number 3 of the important things you want to do when thinking about rolling out your business timeline is filling out your timeline with actual events that took place, maybe a couple years ago, maybe back when you were founded. So we think it's really important that you go through, maybe you already have a timeline for your business, but when did your business start? What were some big events that took place? Maybe you're a smaller business and you have some of your first hires. You can actually go back into timeline and put those events in. So we highly suggest you get those top big, events for your business or your brand on there. And then we also suggest maybe finding some video or pictures to go along with that as well.
Storytelling has become very popular through social media right now, especially as a brand or a company. It really lets your customers connect with you on another level. So if you can go back and show them some of those milestones, New York Times did a great job of this. The first day timeline was released. They went all the way back, putting out different stories and headlines, like big memorable ones and their founding date, things like that. Now that timeline's there, it's going to be a lot easier for your fans to go back through your posts instead of, whereas now the pages are, you scroll to the bottom and then most people don't feel like clicking back. People can keep scrolling or they can click by year. And these little events you put on your page are called milestones, and it lets you choose dates. So you can add photos, I think maybe even a video. It's almost like posting for that.
It's really fun. When the New York Times published their timeline on like day one when Facebook came out, they used it as an opportunity to interact with their followers and make it sort of fun for them. So they said, see what our newsroom looked like in 1927. They didn't link to it or anything, but I went to New York Times, I went to their Facebook page, and then I got to click on the year 1927, and then it, shot down the timeline, and then it popped up some really, really cool old photos from the newsroom. And so it's kind of a way to interact and encourage your followers to explore your page a little bit more, spend some time learning about you and your business and who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's see, the next one here, which we kind of touched on a little bit, is Timeline is a great new place to start using visuals, which we at One Social Media strongly believe that visual is the way that the internet is moving. It's the way that the human mind is working and moving towards as well, because people, our attention spans are growing shorter and shorter, and visuals have become the new status update. So with Timeline, you can highlight so many great visuals with pictures or graphs, charts, videos. It's the place to do it. And so if you have those things, or you don't, you want to start thinking about making them, finding them, and being able to put them up on your timeline.
Right. It's still pretty normal for people to do just text status updates because it's your personal update. But as far as a business goes, there's almost a new standard. And with Timeline, you're going to see that even more so, I think.
Yeah, if you want to see a few examples, we've been posting a lot of photos on our Facebook page recently. Facebook.com/OneSocialMedia. We have just a few different examples. Like sometimes we'll just post a fun photo of maybe what we're doing on a specific day. Maybe we're taking a break from work to stand outside. Sometimes it's more strategic. We're trying to offer some value and show people a resource that they could use, or we're taking a screenshot and providing people with some education. There are a number of different ways you can use visuals, but what you want to remember is that the new Facebook timeline design is really creating an opportunity for you to be creative content providers, really. So
that's a good way to put it.
Okay, so the last one on our list is, I just have it written down as app management. So if you watched our video earlier in the week, what you found out was that the Fangate welcome pages and the landing pages that previously existed on Facebook business pages are no longer going to pop up when someone visits your page. They're still going to exist within the skeleton of your page, but basically when someone comes to your page for the first time, they're going to see Timeline and nothing else. And so my suggestion is that you go through your apps, and you can find them when you're previewing Timeline or when you've published Timeline by looking at the top bar, and usually you have to click, if you have events and photo galleries and stuff like that, you'll have to click the arrow that says more, and you'll see a number in red. And then you'll see more of your apps drop down once you click that. But you want to test each one of them and see which ones still work, which ones need to be maybe removed because they don't make sense anymore for how the new design works. And then spend some time, and we're going to help you out with this, spend some time learning about new apps and new ways to utilize that area of your Facebook page. Because it's still going to be an area that you can explore, but it's just not as prevalent as it used to be. I don't know, what do you guys think?
I think we're definitely going to have to keep an eye out for the newer apps that are coming out, because obviously the developers and the bigger brands and things like that are going to know about the business timeline pages coming out, and they're probably going to be more catered to that format. I think I'm not even sure what to do with their older apps right now. You can access them, but I personally haven't used any since Timeline popped up. So
right. So I think you want to look through, what Facebook apps you might have on there and what would be strategically best to be featured on your top bar of your Facebook timeline, because maybe it is I can't even think of what it would be right now, but something that maybe it's your Twitter stream. You want to direct people to your Twitter account. Maybe your Twitter app is best to have up there right now. So it's a time where you're not alone. Everyone is going through this and trying to figure out what's going on, what will be next, and who knows? Facebook could make changes again with this. They're never done, and they're always making amendments. So we're just going to keep a lookout for apps and what's coming next.
I think one thing to really keep in mind about this entire process is that Facebook doesn't really want these brand pages to be promotional. And that's why they did all these things. Because I've talked to several clients so far that are really mad because Facebook is going against all the promotional marketing things. And that's because they want it to be the social experience. Mm-hmm. They want you to be creative and to provide interesting content for your followers. That's why they did all this in the first place. Right. So that's really their motivation behind moving towards these timeline pages and some of the changes that they've made. So keep that in mind. I like to think it's a good opportunity for any brand to really step up and be interesting and be creative and really provide more for their followers and connect on a deeper level.
Yeah, I think like most things, you get out of it what you put into it. So it takes some work, but it's worth it. If you spend some time learning about it, spend some time updating your timeline. But we're going to try to keep the show relatively short. We have a lot of YouTube videos that we're uploading every day and that have already been uploaded about Facebook Timeline for Business. We have some great resources that we have found that we want to share with you. So keep track of that stuff. Follow us on Facebook. Find us on Twitter. Check out our blog, our YouTube channel. Find us everywhere. Google+. We're always sharing stuff about this, and we're learning more every day. And we're specifically trying to come up with business strategies that you can use your Facebook timeline, because there's a lot of content out there right now. People are trying to get you to learn about Facebook timeline, but what we want you to do is learn about Facebook timeline, but then learn specific strategies that you can use to gain an edge over your competition when it comes to your business. So that's it for today. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you.